So let's just dive right in. I see people joining on, they'll catch up. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our virtual career day series. My name is Josh Walker. I'm an architect coming to you live from my home, as usual, because like you, we're learning and working from home these days. If this is your first time joining us, this is our effort at HKS to introduce you to one of the largest design firms in the world and the many types of people it takes to make it run. We design everything from stadiums to skyscrapers, hotels to hospitals. We have over 1,000 people from all industries who make it all happen. Architects, accountants, interior designers, engineers, human resources, researchers, and everything in between. There really is a place for everyone. So far we've talked with, and this is a list now, so get ready. Sustainability engineer Mike Brown, Director of Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Giselle Santos Rivera, Architect Adeze Kade, Interior Designer Adelia Schlois, Architectural Photographer Daryl Shields, Design Director Dan Flower, Writer Julie Wellick, Researcher Casey Lindberg, Special Spanish Language Interview with Architect and Office Director Salvador Rivas, and Construction Administrator Ray Stubblefield. You can find all of those on our Instagram or our YouTube feeds. Get caught up. They're great conversations, great interviews. Super excited to have been part of those. But this week, we're going across the world, literally, to Office and Architect and Regional Director Angela Lee, who is online right now at midnight her time from her home in Singapore. Angela, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
So I've been starting every video with the same question. If you go back to your high school days, what did you think your career would look like?
Okay, so I have to come clean right away. I went to all-girls Catholic school. So our exposure to in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Since I was first grade all the way to 12th grade, I went to a Catholic girls' school. So we weren't encouraged to, like, you can do whatever, be whomever you want to be, do whatever you want to be, do what I want to do. It wasn't until after high school, I go to college. I went to college in Oklahoma, and I have to pick a major. That's when I had to think really hard. I like both art and science, and I found that architecture is probably the best match because it fits the curiosity for both arts and science. So I went for it.
Okay, now that's a common refrain we hear with architects and creative professionals, the balance of art and science. And did you have to go through a few years of school before you found architecture, or did you land on it pretty quick?
I landed on it pretty quick. I think maybe in the back of my mind, I always liked it, but it just wasn't encouraged when I was in high school. But once I know I had the freedom to choose, yeah, I went for it.
That's cool. Now I noticed, because I normally stalk people's LinkedIns before these interviews, and you mentioned going to school in Oklahoma. You did not say that you went to the University of Oklahoma, thanking you a Sooner, which is crazy to me. It's like, now you started in Hong Kong, now you're in Singapore, but you go through Oklahoma and the Dallas office at HKS, if I'm correct. How do you deal with all these culture changes and transitions? Because that's a lot of change over a career.
No, I don't. Never remember I have to deal with it. I maybe I'm lucky. I think there's a general thread. When you go to a new place, curiosity actually helped. Wanting to learn more about someone, about the city, and when you're genuine, and throw in some kindness, people know. They know. I could say silly things or sometimes even inappropriate. Actually, not sometimes, a lot of times, but they know it's in good fun and you're friendly. It's okay. I mean, I just went to before the lockdown. I went to Doha, work with the military. That went very well. We connected. I went before that was Greece, and I have a client in Vietnam. We're designing a health city for them. We don't speak the same language, but we connected. It's weird, but it works. Just be nice.
I love that. Curiosity and kindness, the universal translators.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, yeah.
Now, you mentioned Health City. You're a healthcare designer, is that right?
Yes, I am. I am. I've been
Yeah.
designing hospital or any kind of health and wellness facility for the last 26 years.
Wow. What was it that, how
Mm.
did you find healthcare design? What was it that attracted you there?
I really, okay, at the beginning, I was an intern, so it really was by chance. But once I started, it was like, of course, doing good and making a living. I don't want to change anything. Every day, we are
Mhm.
making the environment safer for people who are sick, not feeling well. We're helping them. We really are helping them. And I
Yeah.
got a paycheck every other week. I have no complaint. It's fantastic.
That's a
Really.
very, I love hearing you say that. I love hearing you say that because that really brings out the heart behind so many designers. I know the reason I do
Mm.
school design, for example, and my family are teachers and administrators, like it's a passion for me to create better spaces for people like them.
Mm.
And I love that you found that in the healthcare side of things. But I know that healthcare is a very interesting job. Like these are big, complex projects, and over 26 years, I can't imagine that they've experienced any or that they've. I have to imagine that they've experienced a large amount of technological and cultural change around healthcare. How do you keep up with
Yeah.
all the change and progress, especially while working on projects all around the world?
Have to keep up. Talk to. Well, first of all, we're surrounded by doctors and nurses, and the conversation itself, uh, you learn from them, and also, of course, the vendors, the technology, and now before it was just the medical technology. Now is everything. All technology will affect what we do. So we really have to, in a professional, we do have to stay alert and keep learning. We must do
Okay.
that. And if you do
And
that,
what about the international aspect?
it carries everywhere. It's just the same language amazingly. Um, the only difference may be, the structure is the same. The way we design, the way we solve problem, the methodology is the same. The culture might be different. One might have a smaller visitor place. Another country might have 20,000 visitors a year. But the way you design it is the problem solving process is the same. It's
Interesting. The universal language of design carries over from
yeah,
project to project.
that's right.
Interesting. So now that we've mostly been talking about your career as an architect, but you have another phase to add on to that. At some point, you got so good at being an architect that they put you in charge of other architects, and then that continued, and that kept rolling, and now you're what we call a regional director. All of Southeast Asia or work in that territory
Yeah.
ultimately work under the structure that you had. And that's a fascinating change. So help me understand what interested you enough about that process to step into a managerial
Mm, okay, let's step back a little. First of all, I don't. It's not like a step you step into. Like one day you are a manager. I think it's a whole process that I've learned through my entire career with the same company, and I never feel like I'm really in charge of people. It's
role.
more about empowering them because all my well I have never felt like I have to report to someone or someone is in charge of me. So I'm really treating the
Huh?
next generation the same way I was treated, which is, you take responsibility. The more accountability and responsibility you take, the more freedom and the more empowerment you receive. So up to today, I don't like the word boss. I don't respond to who is in charge here. Everybody has your role and your responsibility. You do yours, I do mine. They're just a little bit different, and the consequences might be a little different. And that's how I run the region. Nobody is the boss. Everybody is my boss, actually.
I love that. That's a real organic
Yeah.
kind of
And
relational leadership.
I learned that from our president and CEO, 3 generations of them.
Wow. That's true. HKS does seem to really celebrate the servant leadership and the supportive leadership models. I've enjoyed that my time here. So last question. For those of us who might be interested in following your career path, starting maybe going into architecture and maybe following through onto leadership and management, what does it take to climb the ladder? But really, what does it take to be good at the leadership role?
I look for leaders who inspired. So I hope I'm also inspiring others. It's, when I was younger, I look up to the leaders, and now, in my 50s, they're still leaders, but instead of like always looking up to them, I want them to be successful too. So, as you age, the way you look up to leaders or way you look for in a leader is different. But all of them, no matter they're in their 20s, I mean, Malala, Gerda, they're inspiring and they're leading. So I feel the same. It's not about age. It's not about climbing the ladder. If you inspired others, they will see you as a leader. So I'm still working on that. That will not stop.
No, I get it. That's the process never stops. You're always improving.
Yeah,
You're always learning. I love it.
that's right.
One of my managers here in the education sector is very fond of the idea that we're all leaders. We're just in different roles as we do so. And that
That's
sounds very
right.
much like what you're talking about, where the leadership is the acronym or the term to describe the people who lead, not the people who are in charge.
That's right. That's right. And empower
Wow.
next generation. I am at that age. Help them be successful. Today is a very good day, I tell you. I have 3 interns. One is about maybe 6 months out of school. Another one 3 years, 3 years and 2 years. So the project manager is on leave, and they were supposed to give me a download on what needs to be presented to a client today. So this morning I sat through the presentation, and they did so well. I said, you don't need me. You all present. So the 3 of them take turns, and they did the presentation. It was perfect. It's a very good day for me.
That's incredible. And that shows a lot of trust between you and the people you work with.
And empower.
Well, I think there can be no better note to end on. So I want to say thank you for carving out some time to share with us. I know it's late for you. You've had a long day, and I very much appreciate you setting time aside to share your story with us. Everyone else, thank you for logging on and sharing this time. I can't look for another interview next week, same time, same place. Can't tell you who it is yet, but look for an announcement soon. We normally drop those on our HKS LinkedIn on Thursday or Friday. Maybe this seemed like a good fit for you and you'd like to learn more about the people NGS works with. If so, join us and go back through the library. But maybe this wasn't a good fit and you're looking for a place. We've got 10 episodes already for you and more to come. So either way, we'll be back here, same time, same place next Tuesday. Also remember, this will go live on our story here in a few minutes and on our Instagram TV, so you can share that with teachers or friends that you think need to know about this. If you have follow-up questions, you can comment on the video and we'll do our best to get back to you. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe. And thanks, Angela.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night.